Good morning, people of Patreon. Members only. It's exciting, isn't it? Being exclusive to something. I just thought might be appropriate, should we say, to look at the reasons why it's important for me to do 50 and coping. And while I'm on my own, I can tell you truths about things. I started this because maybe I'll just say a fear of being 50 and what that meant. And then you start to think about your life and all the things you've done and where you are at. If you watch the show with Chris Love that comes out in a couple of weeks, or if you're watching this before, it's episode 4, I think. He talks about the second stage of life. And the second stage of life is where you take all of the things that you don't need out of your life's cup. When you realize that actually counting the pennies is not a standard for how well you've done in life, what that means is that, if you've got the car and you've got the girl and you've got, the house, which as Chris Love called it, was a trinity, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy or succeeding. I'll tell you right now, I have no idea what happiness is. Absolutely no idea. There are times when I'm happy, there are times I'm sad. I don't mean I'm a morose person. What that means is that I don't have a target. I don't have something that I think will make me happy anymore, because early on in my life, I had some money and I had houses and I had a nice car. In fact, I had 4 of them. But it's now I don't have anything. I don't have anything like that, and I am better off now than I ever was back then. So look, when you're trying to make a difference in your own life, it might well be helpful to take some other people along with you. And so when I got clean from drugs, the way I kept myself honest was every day posting a video to YouTube where I was just walking my dog, and I would offload all of my thoughts to you guys on the other side of that camera. And what that did is it kept me honest. And I think 50 and coping is important to me because it gives me an outlet, because I'm no longer a musician. I don't feel comfortable in that. But I also do feel that I have a place making videos, and I feel like I could be good at it, and I have to learn how and do it right. So I'm really lucky because I have George Hersent, who basically has all the cameras and all the knowledge on how to use them. You can have all the expensive kit in the world, but if you haven't got a clue how to frame pictures, how to edit video, and he's come along. The thing you see, the final show, isn't just us talking, it's him and the way he puts it together. So look, big thank you to George. That's amazing. I think 50 and coping will be something that I hope, the aspirations for the show is to grow, to get to as many people as possible. It's not about money. It's not about anything other than the making of the show and trying to show through my mistakes and my ways of coping and all of the ways of coping with all the guests, applied knowledge. So, Sean Havoc, he's a drugs and alcohol counsellor. Chris Love, who is the director of admissions for a rehab clinic. Rob Clydesdale is a musician who has suffered with mental health his whole life. These people are people that we've made the shows with, and you'll see them coming out soon, but they all have something to say and relevant experience. There's many more guests coming. Lee, who is one of my best friends, came to me with conversation and intelligence, and that conversation and intelligence has sparked the reality that I need him to do this too. So his role is, and I laughingly called him the straight man in the first one, is because if I am led to roam without a leash or without, somebody who will look at a different perspective than mine, it just becomes the me show. And I think that's really important. And for both of us, we can, bound off each other to keep the thing entertaining and keep it moving. So thank you for being part of it. It's important to me. And when it stops being important and I stop talking truth, that's when the whole thing stops. We'll talk again, won't we? See ya.